Hey everybody, Tim Norris here, aka GreyElephant, and today we're going to be playing BattleLore, the second edition. And we are not just going to be playing with the base set. No, we got expansions. Fantasy Flight sent them to us, and thank you very much. And we thought, wow, this is a great opportunity. We're going to make some customized armies. And I will be represented by the good guys. I am the Decon Lords, I think how you pronounce it. And of course, Carnosaurus Rex will be represented by the Uthaculon, I think is how you pronounce it. Just know that red bad, blue good, and everything else will fall into place from there. But like I said, we do have the expansions. I'm by no means a master at creating these armies, but we did just kind of put something together that would kind of show off the armies and some of these new abilities that you guys can look forward to. A lot of fun. So anyways, I could ramble on here for 20 minutes about how much I like this game, but I think let's just start playing, and I think that you guys will just figure it out on your own.
All right, so here's the game all set up, and the evil red army gets to go first. Let me talk just a few minutes about how this all came to be, how the board and the armies all get set up. So at the beginning, we're each going to be given several of these scenario cards, and we're going to choose one of them that we're going to want to put on the board. And if you notice, the terrain will match what's ever on this card here to a degree. Some of the other stuff will get added later. But depending on which scenario you choose, depends on what the layout of the battlefield will be. All these little red hexes are where you could possibly put your armies, and I'm not going to get into too much detail about that. Just know that those are the only spaces you could place armies. Down at the bottom are special things that could occur during this scenario. So depending on which scenario you choose, it's like, you know, you're going to build your army around that, and that helps. And given what I just said about building an army, what I mean by that is that each one of these units has a cost to them. So for instance, these little guys here, a squad of those cost 4, and you can get up to 50, but in this case 55, because I do have the little command camp for each side of the army. The different terrain types, we'll talk about those as we encounter them. These cards here tell you exactly what the health, so for instance, their movement, their attack, and their health. And so once you get them all set up for each side, you're pretty much ready to go. What you'll do then is you're going to be dealt some command cards, and this is how you're going to move your armies across the board. These two here are lore cards. We'll talk about lore cards when that ever comes into effect, but right now it's not necessary. Let's talk about command cards, because that's pretty much how we're going to get started on this game. In fact, we'll just look at these two right here specifically. So what this is doing, you notice that we got this red line here and this red line here. So we've got the left, the middle, and the right side of the board. These are going to tell you what units you're going to be allowed to move. And how many. So for instance, attack left says you can move 3 units on the left, and it tells you just right there, order 3 units in the left section. Right here, surround is going to let you move 2 units on each side, so you can't move any units in the middle section, but 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and then whichever units that you move, you're going to be allowed to attack with as well. So Carnosaurus Rex, right off the bat, she wants to start with the attack left. So what she's going to do is, right off the bat, she's going to play that. She's going to say, I want to move 3 units in the left hex. So right now, for a fact, we know none of these units are going to move at all. Now, if you ever straddle the line here, that means you're in the middle or the right side, just so you know. So it's great to try to get your units in the center, because it gives you more options. All right, so we've got 3 units that just so happen to be here on the left. We have the Blood Sisters, we have the Grotesque, and then we also have this big giant Doombringer. And the reason that I know what they are is because we have the little cards, like I said, that represent them. So the Blood Sisters, and of course we've got their movements. So the Blood Sisters can move too. Now they're a ranged unit, which means that they can attack from a distance. So they're kind of one of those ones that maybe you want to rush up, or not rush up too far, but get them up there just enough to where they can try to cover, give some cover to your ground units. Grotesque, they can possibly be ranged, and we'll discuss that as we get to that, but they move 2 as well. Now the Doombringer, he moves 3, but he's also got a special ability here. He's got Burrow, and this is really cool, because what this means is that he gets to ignore any types of restrictions during movement. Now on the board we have certain areas, let's talk about this real quick, is that if I occupy any of these spaces at the end of my turn, I'm going to gain a victory point. If I ever gain 16 victory points at the end of the game, well then, or at the end of the round, then I'm going to win the game. We've only got 2 spaces on the board at the moment where we're going to be able to gain those victory points. And then we've got some other things here too. We'll talk about those. But one thing for the scenario that you need to know for these guys is it does say that during the VP step, you'll gain 1 VP unless an enemy unit occupies either of the blood-filled hexes outlined in red. So that's those 2 spaces there, this one and this one. So we don't want the enemy, well, Karmasaurus doesn't want the enemy to occupy either one of those hexes. Otherwise, she's not going to get that VP. But it does say if friendly units occupy both the blood fields outlined in red, then you'll gain a lore. So she wants to get her own units up there if she possibly can, then because she's going to gain lore. And lore is used to activate these cards here, which are going to give you special abilities during combat. Okay, so she has already picked her card, so she says she wants to move 3 units on this side. All right, so the Doombringer can move 3, Grotesque move 2, Blood Sisters move 2, but they've got range. All right, so the Doombringer can ignore any terrain movement types. So he's going to go, let's see, because we've got quite a bit over here that they're going to be up against, and that's kind of scary. Let's do this. Let's go. The Doombringer is going to move all 3. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to wind up in that field there, or the forest. Now, the way the forest works is that it kind of gives you cover. So for like instance, if anybody tries to attack him while he's in there, they're only going to roll 2 dice. Typically, they'll roll up to 3, sometimes more. But the point is that they're only going to get 2 dice while he's there in the forest. So it gives him some cover, which is beautiful. Now, these guys here, I'm thinking I'm going to go 1 and then 2, and they're going to take this mountainous area right here. The sisters are going to move 2, and they're going to go 1, 2, and they're going to take these hills right there. All right, so now that I've moved all 3, I can consider trying to perform an attack. Now, the way that an attack works is we're going to look at the card for like the Blood Sisters. Right here it says that they can attack. They have a range between 1 to 3 hexes away. So what we do is we just count away from them. So 1, 2, 3. Well, there's nobody really within their range, so that's really not going to happen. The bug, he only attacks if he can. He can only attack if he's melee. So basically, they have to be adjacent to him, is what I'm getting at. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. Now, Grotesque, they could attack if they wanted to from a range. So instead of advancing, this unit may perform a ranged attack with an attack value of 3 and a range of 1 to 2. So he could roll 3 dice and attack from 1 to 2 hexes away, but he moved, so he did advance. So basically, that's going to be the end of this phase right now. Basically, everybody's moved. The command step is over. You can't do any attacks, so that's going to be the end of that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move to the next step, which would be that you can gain more lore cards. Well, wait a minute. You would also, now that you're done with that, you're going to draw 1 command card and add it to your deck. Now what you can do is you have the option. You can take 2 lore cards, but if you do that, you're going to have to discard one of the ones, basically one of the, because I've got 2 right now, and then I would draw 2, so that would give me 4, so I'd have to discard 1 and be down to 3, okay? The other thing I could do is I could take 2 of these here, and this is lore, and that's used to basically, activate these cards. So let me show you a good example. See, that would cost 3 lore for me to activate that card right there. That one's 0 lore. Okay. Or I could take 1 lore and draw 1 card. So what I'm going to do is just take 2 lore and put them on this side of the board, and then that way try to build up some of the lore and be able to use that to be able to activate the cards we already have. All right, so now what we do is we look and we see, do they have any areas that they occupy that would gain VP? Well, we do right there. Plus, according to the scenario, let's not forget that if the enemy doesn't occupy any of these blood hexes, you're going to gain a VP as well. So total of 2 VP coming to these guys. So well on their way, man, right off the gate. Not bad at all. So 2 VP, 2 lore. All right, so Blue's turn. Blue has chosen, let's go over real quick their scenario. Very similar to the Blood Flats. Now, one thing I did not explain about the Blood Flats is that for the bad guys, the red guys, your guys, the bad guys, if they occupy this space, they're going to be able to heal. So healing means that whenever you take a damage, you'd remove one of the units. But if these units were on there, they're going to gain one back, but they can never go exceed the unit level, which means they're only ever going to be 3. These guys take damage, and eventually then they'll die. But if they're on the blood flats, then they're going to gain or remove a damage token on them. So, for instance, I think this guy can take about, I don't know, maybe 6 wounds. So if he had like 4 wounds, but he ends his turn here, then he's only going to take, he'll remove one of them wounds. The crystals work a little bit differently, and let's go over those. We'll go over all this real fast. So this was the setup for the blue guys, and much just like the blood flats over there for them, they're going to gain a VP as long as no enemies occupy the crystals. Okay, but if they occupy both the crystals, then they're going to gain a lore. And then also that during the lore step, they could spend 1 lore to remove a friendly unit 1 hex. So they're going to want to gather as much lore as they possibly can so they could try to advance their army up the field. And also just for these crystals, during the move step, if you occupy them, you're going to gain extra dice during the attack phase. So you want to try to get on those if you can. So, all right, so blue has chosen this one here, that they're going to order 1 unit from each one of their sections here. So let's see, I would say over here we are going to order our archers. So let's move our archers up here onto the crystals. And they did not begin their move step here, but they did end their move step there. So it's good that they occupy it regardless. Now we can move 1 in the middle. Let's see what everybody moves. Now these mages are over here. They move 2. The archers move 2. The guards will move 2. And then my big behemoth, he only moves 1. Let me see, but he does have this. It says, if this unit moves during your move step, it cannot perform an attack this turn. This unit ignores units when determining line of sight. Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. So it would not be able to attack if it moves. Let's move, I am thinking, our mages. And let's move them right to here. So they'll go 1 space. Now I could move them a second. What's their range? 1 to 3. Well, they've got the range already, so I'm thinking let's leave them right there at the moment, and then we're going to be able to attack with them. We'll be able, and with our archers as well. All right, so for over here, let's see. So we moved 1 in the right, 1 in the middle. Let's move these archers 1 and 2, and we're going to occupy this town right here and try to gain the VP for that. Okay, well, I moved them, and I moved them, and I do have things in range this time, so I am going to be allowed to attack. So if we look at the archers, let's look at their card. It says over here, they have double shot, and that says if this unit did not move during your move step, it may perform 1 additional attack during your step. Well, they both did move, so that's not going to matter. They roll 2 dice in combat, as denoted by the red right there. So they'll get 2 dice, and they can attack from 1 to 4 spaces away. So let's start right here. I'd like to try to take that guy out as much as I possibly can, is what I'm thinking. So we're going to go after the Doombringer. I mean, it'd be kind of nice maybe to weaken down these units as well, but I don't know. I mean, I only get to roll 2 dice anyways, so let's go after the Doombringer. So what I do is I take 2 dice, and what I am looking for are arrows. Hopefully I can get arrows, and I can attack that silly Doombringer. And then we'll see what happens from there. All right, so I got a sword, and I got this here, which is a crown, and that's not going to help me at all. So there's nothing that would activate with the crown. Now see, some of them could get like a special ability with a crown, so that's why that's important. So let's discard our card up there while we're thinking about it. Next, let's move over here to these guys, and once again, we're going to attack that Doombringer. Now, these guys typically roll 3 dice in combat, but we are not going to be able to do that because the Doombringer is in a forest, so we only get to roll 2 because he's basically in cover. So, oh, but we did well because we did get a strike. That is good. So the Doombringer is going to get a boo-boo. So let's get a boo-boo marker. Boo-boo marker for you. That's actually a bleed token, I believe. Yeah, that would work. Okay. All right, so I'll put a boo-boo marker on him. Okay, but we also rolled these little crystals here. Now, these little crystals mean that whenever you roll those, you're going to gain a lore. So we take that. Now, that's not VP. That's just saying something, you know, you're going to be able to use that to activate your cards. Now, they would have had other ability. Oh, right here, in fact, Catalyst. So if they rolled that lore, draw one card from your lore deck and gain one lore. So, ooh. So not only did I gain the lore, but I also get to draw one of my cards from my lore deck as well. So, aw, Healing Hands. That's sweet. Okay, we'll read that in just a bit. All right, so that would end that assault. And the Doombringer, how much health does he have? He's only got 5 health as listed right there. So now he's only got 4. So that's great. That's what we need to see happen. Okay, so now we still have these archers here. I cannot attack that guy because basically what we do is we draw a line here and we take it to there, and it is basically being blocked by the forest right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, they'd be able to attack. Forest will block line of sight. Other obstacles can block line of sight as well, including other units. Now, the blood flats do not block line of sight according to what I've read so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those guys right there, his enemy archers are within range, but 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys I don't believe are, because basically we'll draw a line here, and I believe that this forest here would probably block that line of sight. So we're going to target them archers, and I think that's who I'd want to target anyways. So they roll 2 dice in combat, and okay, well they did force a retreat, so that's good. So basically what this is that whenever this pops up, it pushes back the enemy units 1 space. So we are going to move them back. Now the way this works is basically it would be from the angle we attacked, which is right here. So they're going to move back 1 space back to there. So basically all these arrows are like, they're like, ah, run away. Understandable, totally understandable. It's a little scary. Okay, so now let's go into the victory point phase. I occupy that space, so that'll give me 1 point. Plus, the enemy does not occupy either one of these, so that's going to give me another point. So 2 points for the good guys. Yay! Okay, next we're going to go into our draw step, which means that I get to draw another command card, and I get to add it to my hand. Oh, yeah, nice. Okay. Next, we're going to go into the lore step, and remember I can get either 2 lore, which that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to even worry about explaining anything else. So, all right, so that is it. Now, what I could have done, though, is once per turn during your lore step, you may spend 1 lore to move a friendly figure 1 hex. And that can be anybody. You know, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to spin the lore. Who do I want to move? I know I definitely want to move somebody 1 hex. Let's move these guys up 1 spot right here. So, and we'll get them a little bit up there, closer to the bad boys. Okay. All right. So that would end the turn for blue. All right. So Carmen has chosen the surround card. So moves 2 units on the right and 2 units on the left. The right units, going to go with the archers here. So going to go 1, 2, and move them onto the blood flats so that hopefully they don't get eliminated. Because remember, as long as you keep occupying this hex, you're going to be able to heal. So good for them. Not to mention, according to this here, if you occupy both the blood flats, you're going to gain 1 lore during the lore phase. So awesome. The other right unit, we're going to move the big boy. We're going to roar, the Chaos Lord is going to move right up to there. Next, we are going to move 2 units over here. We're going to move the Blood Sisters off of this hill. They're going to roll down the hill. La, la, la. That was fun. I'm dizzy. I'm going to get sick. And then they're going to move into here because they can move 2 spaces. So they're going to visit a town, and they're going to do some bad stuff in there. Next, let's see. Now, I thought about moving these guys. Maybe trying to occupy that crystal right there, which is not a bad idea. But we could also move the Doombringer 3 spaces, and that could get him in range to start doing some naughty bad stuff. Not to mention, right off the bat, this could be kind of funny that he's going to go 1, 2, 3, because you got to remember, he can burrow. So we've got those archers surrounded pretty good, but not only that, we just took over an enemy camp, and I'll explain what happens with that in just a minute. All right, we're going to start with the archers here, and they've got a bead on these other archers here. Now, the good part about occupying a town is that you get to ignore 1 damage. It's kind of like you have some defense, I guess. You can look at it that way. And these guys will still roll their normal dice, which would normally be, I believe, 2 dice. We'll look at their card over here to confirm that. And yes, they are the Viper Legion. Now, they do have some special abilities. If you notice, the Vipers bite, but they have to roll that crown on the die to be able to make that happen, which means that they could poison those guys. And that's kind of what I think I'm going after, is that poison effect, because even if they don't hit, they could still poison them, and that could make them lose infantry or archers as well. So that's what we're probably going to do. We're going to target those guys right there, and so we're going to roll 2 dice, and we'll see what comes up. Ooh, double crown. Could have rolled 3, been a triple crown. So anyways, that does mean that they're poisoned. So let's take a look at that, and we'll read exactly. It says, poison the target unit. Each lore result produced during a combat roll against a poisoned unit may be committed to cause 1 damage. Whenever a player orders a poisoned unit, he may spend 2 lore to remove the poison token from that unit's hex. So basically, this is going to go on them right here to show that they have now been poisoned. If I roll any of the lore dice whenever I'm in combat, then I can turn that into a damage token on those. Blue has the option of spending 2 lore tokens to remove that poison. But, yeah, you know, that costs, right? So that was a great way to just try to set them up for hopefully defeat. This guy cannot attack. He's a melee character, so he's just going to stand right there. Now, we moved all these characters up here. The reason that it's cool that he took over that tent is because if he's there at the beginning of the next turn, which most likely he will be, the bad guys are going to gain 2 victory points for occupying that tent. Basically, then the command tent will be removed. So a great way to get VP. So what we're going to do with this guy here is we're going to attack these archers. So let's take a look at his card. He's got Devour, so if he rolls the crown, he's going to eat one of them. Cause 1 damage to the target unit is infantry or cavalry. Oh, it's only infantry or cavalry. I don't believe archers technically. Yeah, archers will be infantry, so yeah, that he would eat one of them. Immobilize. Non-legendary enemy units adjacent to this unit cannot move during your move steps. So basically, them archers are staying there until this Doombringer decides to move. And then, of course, Burrow. We've already experienced Burrow. So he rolls 3 dice. So let's grab 1 more, and we're going to attack these archers and eat them up, yum, yum, yum. So we'll roll right here. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, so bad. He did. You did. You're such a good bug. Yes, you are. All right. So basically, this is a hit. This is a hit. All right. So either one of those would have been successful. 2 successes right there. But then, of course, the crown happened, which means right there, Devour, cause 1 damage to the target unit is infantry or cavalry. They are infantry indeed, so he just wiped out this entire squad all by himself. Bring out your dead. Which happens to be right there, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, he just totally wiped them all out. Fantastic job. So let's go over to the Blood Sisters and see if they can even do anything. They've got a range of 1 to 3. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. They don't have a bead on anybody, unfortunately, so they're not going to be able to attack anybody. But you know, hey, they've got a nice little prime spot here. They've checked in and they're ready to go. So that would end basically the attack phase. So what we're going to do is go into the upkeep phase, and what we do here is we're going to now award victory points and such. So they still occupy this spot, so that's going to be a VP. So let's get a VP for them. All right. Plus, remember, according to the scenario, if the good guys don't occupy either one of these blood flats, they gain a VP as well. So, boy, this is really escalating really quick. I mean, this has been pretty awesome. Okay, so now what we do is we go to drawing a card. So we draw a command card to replace the one that we've already spent. Oh, that looks naughty. Okay, next, we will go into the lore step, which means that you could draw the lore tokens, draw extra lore cards. We're just going to take the 2 tokens. But because we are in the lore step, it says right here, once per turn during the lore step, you may spend 1 lore to move a friendly unit 1 hex. We're going to do that. So we're going to spend 1 lore. Who do we want to move? I definitely don't want to move the bug. Good spot, good spot. Don't want to move them. They're in a good spot at the moment. Could try to get our archers up a little bit more. We're going to move him right here onto the blood flats. Now, the reason we did that is because now we occupy both the blood flats. And, you know, it does say that during the VP step that you get to gain a lore if you occupy both of those. Now, we've already passed up the VP step, technically, so next time around, they're going to be able to gain that. All right, so blue really doesn't want this Doombringer to be able to occupy that 10th at the beginning of the next round. So he's decided that he's going to play this card right here, which is going to allow him to move 2 units on the right and 1 in the center. So these guys can count as centers. So the right unit, we're going to move these golem guys. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Now, one thing is that, remember now, basically these guys can't move now until that bug moves. So that's kind of risky in a sense that I'm putting him there. And then, of course, we're going to call in the eagles. Pick, 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 pick. And you're going to land right there. Next, we're going to move our mages right to this section. And we are all just going to concentrate on trying to deliver the final killing blow on him because he's only got 4 health left. After taking that 1 boo-boo already that he did. So, yeah, he took out all the archers, but, you know, he may have just sacrificed himself in the process. So, let's see. Who should we start with? You know what? I might move the mages a little bit differently. Let me think, because they move 2 spaces. What is their range? Their range is 1 to 3? Yeah, it is. 1 to 3. So, if I put them, say, here, I could still possibly. Let's do that instead. We're going to put him right here instead. And because they'll still have range on him. Plus, if he's already dead between this attack, which maybe will happen, maybe won't, he could still possibly target those guys there. Because he does have, I believe, line of sight on them. So, all right. So let's see what happens here. Let's start with the golems. So the golems, they have immovable, which this unit may ignore 1 retreat each combat, not necessary during an attack. They do have stunning blow. Stun the target unit. Stunned units cannot move, attack, counter, or retreat. When a player orders a stunned unit, he may spend 2 lore to remove. All right, so let's see what happens here. Oh, he just delivered it. Boom. So that's a lot of damage. So we're going to put 3 more wounds on the Doombringer, and that means he's only got 1 life to go. Next, we're going to attack with the rock. Rock, rock, rock warrior. Okay, and he attacks with 4 dice. So the chances of this Doombringer surviving are slim to none. Boom! Just destroyed him. Raid! We'll put you in your mouth. Take your dead bug. All right, so that ended that bug there. Now, one thing about him is that it does say that if this unit was ordered, it may move up to 2 hexes after your attack step. Well, my attack step's not over, but that's something to keep in mind because I may want to move him a little bit further. Why not? But that was good because that did save our command tent, so he's not going to get the 2 VP at the start of his turn. So I kind of knew this could possibly happen, but you never know. Bad rolls, the Doombringer could have survived. That's why I put these guys in enough range to where they could still... I believe they've got line of sight on these guys. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. I don't believe that this force is going to block that. And I don't believe that these are blocking type of terrain. I could be wrong on all that, but I am going to say 1, 2, 3 that those guys are in range. And if you notice here, they do have a 3 range, and they roll 3 dice during combat. So let's grab 3 dice. Let's do this thing. All right, so not fantastic, but let's see what all happened here. So we did get this, all right? So that means a rune shield. Shield a friendly unit within 1 hex. Oh, shoot, I thought it was 2 hexes. Man, that was stupid. That was really stupid. I thought it was 2 hexes. For some reason, I thought that was within 2 hexes. When a shielded unit is attacked, remove the shield marker because I had them there thinking, okay, well, they're still within 2 hexes of the rock, and then that way, if that activated, I could shield him. But it's 1 hex, and unfortunately, they're not. And I don't think it's fair if I move him now. Can I move him? She said no. All right, fine, I won't move him. All right, next, so I screwed that up big time. We do have this, which means I get a lore and I get to draw a card. So we're going to grab a card, and we get a lore. Okay. Next, we did force a retreat, so they will have to move off that spot, which means that they're going to go to there. So, haha, you fell off of your little victory point spot. That's at least something, right? So the attack step is over, so that means I will need to move. I can now move the rock up to 2. The rock. It's Dwayne Johnson flying around. I can move him up to 2 spaces. Let's do that. Now, one thing I forgot to do, and I do want to do this, is that I had this lore card in my deck. And it does say that after an enemy unit is eliminated while on your half of the game board, gain 1 VP. That would cost me 2 lore, and I would have had that because I've got 3 after their attack. That's what gave me the third one. But I am going to spend the 2, and I am going to get the VP in exchange for that. So, and that was just 1 VP. So that is kind of how these cards here work. So they tell you exactly when they take effect, and then you just spend the lore if you have it, and then you can activate the card. Okay, so that would basically end, for the most part, the turn for the blue. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the victory point steps. So none of the enemy is occupying those, so that's going to give 1 victory point, plus we occupy that. So that's 2 victory points. So let's grab a 5 banger, and we'll put those 3 back. So 9 more, and blue has won this game. Next, we're going to go to the draw step, which means we draw another command card. We're going to add that to our hand here. Now I could, if I wanted to, draw 1 and 1. I don't think so. I'm just going to take 2 lores and add them to my supply. And then I am going to spend 1 to move one of my units, 1 space. Who do I want to move? I want to move this guy. And we're going to move him right to there. No. We're going to move him right to there instead. Okay. All right, and that'll pretty much end blue. All right, so it's red's turn, and they are going to play a counter attack. A counter attack basically copies the card that the opponent just played. So basically going to do 2 right, 1 in the middle. So we're going to put that right there. Let's see. So 2 right, 1 middle. So we can move one of these here in the middle. Who do we want to move? That's a good... Because, see, I could move these guys up to there. And I could probably try to take a pot shot onto the rock. May not be a bad idea. At least maybe try to poison him. So let's move this unit to here. So we'll stop him right there on the tent. Then we can move 2 of them from over here. Let's move these guys up. So we're going to go 1, 2, because they can move 2. We'll put them there. And then let's start getting these guys up. Then let me see. They only move 1. So it does say during your move step, this unit may move 1 additional hex as long as it ends its additional movement adjacent to an enemy unit. Well, that's not going to happen. But let's move them right here, regardless, into this spot. Okay. All right, now for the attack. So no attack is going to happen over here because this unit moved and that unit moved. So no attacks over there. This unit can attack that rock. And they're going to roll 2 dice to be able to do that. So let's see. Let's see what happens. And we did get nothing for that, but we did gain a lore. So that's at least something, I guess. So not a very good round. Could have been a lot better if that bug didn't die. Okay, so we do not occupy that spot. However, the enemy does not occupy those. Red's going to gain a lore. You're going to gain a lore because you do occupy both of those. So let's get you another lore. So let's get you a 5 banger. Let's put the 4 back. Okay. And you're going to gain 1 VP because the enemy does not occupy either one of those. So we'll put that right there. Now we're going to draw a card. So let's add that to your hand. Okay. Now you can decide, do you want to draw 2 lore? Do you want to get some cards? What do you want to do here? She said she wants to take 1 lore, and she wants to draw 1 of her lore cards as well. So Ooh. All right, so blue's going to keep it simple, is going to attack center. 3 units in the center. Well, that's all he's got is 3 units in the center. So we're going to move these guys, and each of these guys move 2 spaces, so we're going to just rush them up there. We're going to go 1, 2. We're going to go 1, 2. All right, and they're not going to be able to really do anything else, but at least it's getting them up there. Now they can attack. This guy here, he's got some range, though. He can shoot from 2 to 6 spaces away, and he rolls 4 dice. This unit may ignore 1 retreat. Barrage, cause 1 damage to each enemy unit. Nope, can't do that. Behemoth, if this unit moves during your move step, it cannot perform an attack this turn. This unit ignores units when determined in line of sight. Hey, that actually is something. I think I would probably then want to move these guys there instead, because he can shoot over them. And he did not move, which means then that he can attack. So he rolls 4 dice, and we are going to attack that big boy right there. See if we can take out the other ones. So, all right, we need targets, and we got a target. All right, and let's see what else we got. Anything else? Nope. So we needed, well, that wouldn't have happened anyways. So we did get 1 wound on him, and we did gain a lore as well. So let's gain a lore. And he got a boo-boo, so let's put that on his card. 1 boo-boo for you. Okay, so let's clear our dice. That'll pretty much end Blue's turn. Let's see, so this card will go away. And let's see if he's got 3 lore now. Is there any cards he could play? No, that's during your move step, so can't do that one. That one cost 8. And Rally Cry. Friendly unit would be forced. Nope, can't play any of those. So now we'll go into the lore phase. I'm going to take, I think, just 2 lore. Take both of those. However, we should have done the victory points phase first. So no enemy units on those, and still occupying that. So that's 2 victory points. And whoops, that puts the good guys at 7 points now. A draw, so draw a card. And lore, which we already collected all of that. But we also should, we can, if we want, move a unit 1 space, which we're going to do that. So we're going to spend 1 lore, and then we are going to move one of our units 1 space. Who do we want to move? We're going to move these casters right up to there. All right, so now red has chosen the echelon right. 1 center and 2 right. So for the center, let's move these guys. They move 3, 1, 2, 3. And we'll take that spot there. Let's move these guys 1, 2. And then move these guys 1, but they've got a special ability. Don't forget that if they can end their movement next to an enemy, they can move 1 extra space. So they can move right to there. So now she can attack. These guys can't attack. Both these units here can attack. And it would probably be smart to attack with these guys first, because they do roll 4 dice. And we'll see what we can do here. So, all right. Poor rolling on your part. Very poor rolling. The crowns mean absolutely nothing. And this here, though, will destroy one of the archers. That's good for you. But you didn't get anything else. It does say, let's see, Craving, that's the movement. Ferocity, that is during an opponent's attack step. If this unit would be forced to retreat, it may counter before it retreats. So yeah, unfortunately. Plus, now you just pushed them off the board, which means they move from here. And actually, you know what? They're in a town, which means they get to ignore 1 wound. So you actually didn't even destroy them at all. Yeah. Weak sauce! But they did have the retreat, which means that they would still have to retreat off that space, and they would move back 1, which is fine, because otherwise they'd have been in range of these guys anyways. So, but they're not going to get, oh, take your poison marker with you, by the way. But they're not going to get that victory point now. And I guess that's really what matters, right? Okay, so that would pretty much end Red's turn. So Red now is going to draw a card. So let's draw a card. Ooh, nice. Very good one. Okay, we are going to collect our VP. Well, you're not on that space. You do occupy those. You haven't taken that. So that would be 1 VP for you. Okay. Let's go to the lore step, which you've got an awful lot of lore. What do you want to do? Now, you can only have, I believe, 4 of these cards at one time. You want to still draw one? Okay. Draw one and take one. All right. Good idea. I think that's probably a good idea. All right. Next, we already took care of that, but you could spend a lore to be able to move one of your units if you like. Do you want to do that? Okay. Which ones do you want to move? Okay, so she wants to spend one lore, and then she wants to move these guys onto there. So, ooh, nice move, nice move. So you're setting yourself up to try to start getting some victory points. Good idea. Okay, she asked me a favor before her turn ends, and she said that she forgot that she had this card right here, that after an enemy unit retreats at least one hex, she could have played this card, and your opponent loses 2 lore and you gain 2 lore. I'm going to allow her to do it, even though she did not allow me to move my mages that one time, but I will allow her to do that. So basically, blue is going to lose 2 lore, and then she is going to gain that lore. Okay, blue is coming out with an attack center again. So that is 2 in a row. Let's see. So you can move either one of these, him or them. I don't think you should... Well, I don't think I should move. Of course, I'm not playing for you anymore, so I could talk to myself instead of talking to third person about you or whatever that is. So anyways, I can move either one of these 3, or I want to attack with him. I know that, so I don't want to move him. Let's see if maybe we can, I don't know. Let's see if we can take out the Bloodhounds. So let's move these guys there, and then we're going to move these guys right there. And then he'll still be in range as well. So, all right, let's attack with our first Citadel Guard. Now, the Citadel Guard can cause extra retreats with these double sword thingies here. So, let's see what happens. They do attack with 3 dice. So, and they only got 1 hit, but they did get a lore. So, let's grab the lore. Put that there. And did kill one of them. So... Okay, now this unit here could attack them dogs again, or it could go for the big guy. Man, I don't know. The big guy's still got a lot of life left on him. I think let's just go for the dogs and see if we can hit them. You know, try not to miss so badly this time. And oh my god, that is 3 retreats. Oh my. That is insane. I have never rolled 3 retreats. Now, instead of using advance, this unit may move. Oh, okay. Okay, well, this is not too shabby. So here's what happens. 3 retreats. They go right back where they started. But because they did cause a retreat, they've got this ability. It's called Pursue. Instead of using advance, which advance means that when you do an attack like this, you push them back, and then you can take the spot where they occupied. It's a great way to like push somebody off of the VP spot, and then you take the VP spot. That's basically what it's about. But this says that instead of using advance, this unit may move 1 hex and perform 1 additional attack. So let's do that. Let's move these guys. Let's put them up here on the hill. No, they don't need to be on that hill. Let's just put them right here, and we will now attack the big guy here. So, all right, let's see what happens now. That's better. Okay, so 2 hits and gained a lore. So, lore. You know what I forgot to do is he has been occupying this blood hex. He should be healing. So as long as he's on that spot, he gets to heal basically 1 every turn. So technically this should not have been on there. But he does take 2 wounds, so we'll put it back on along with this one. And so he's got 4 life now to live. Okay, now we're going to attack with the big guy. And he attacks with 4 dice. So let's get our dice. Dice, baby. Okay, so let's see what all happened here. Quite a bit did, in fact. So he does take 1 more wound. Barrage. Cause 1 damage to an enemy unit adjacent to the target unit. There's no enemy unit adjacent to the target unit, so that's not going to happen. So no big deal there. 1 retreat did happen. This isn't anything. 2 retreats happened, actually. 2 retreats, and he would have to go back this way. All right, that'll end Blue's turn, and basically now what we're going to do is just go in kind of the upkeep phase, which means now we're going to get the victory points. Not on any of the spaces to gain victory points anymore, so unfortunately nothing for that, but both of these are clear of enemies, so therefore I will gain 1 victory point for that. So that puts me at 8. I need 8 more to win the game. Next, the draw step, so draw an additional card. command card. And now the lore. Let's see. I've got 3. I think I'm going to take 2 lore and add them to my pile here. Debating on whether I want to spend one and move one of my characters. I do. I'm going to spend 1. And I think I'm going to move... Let's move these guys up 1 spot here. Right to there. All right, Red's coming out strong. Gonna do a wedge. 1 on the left, 2 in the middle, 1 on the right. Whew, that's a pretty deadly card, man. So let's see. 2 in the middle. Let's move the big boy. And let's see. I'm not sure. Let's see what other cards we got here. It's got an awful lot. After you declare a target attack. Parry. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. She didn't want to do that. Unit was eliminated. Oh, this could be good. Okay. All right. So moved him. Let's move 1 more unit. Do we want to just go with archers? Nah, let's get these guys up there. So these guys are right here, berserkers. And let's see, do range. Each time you perform a combat roll for this unit, you may reroll 1 die. Oh, nice. They do move 2. So let's move them just right here. No, let's go right there. Okay, so that's the 2 units in the center. Now let's go 1 unit here. Let's move these guys up 1 here. All right. Over here, these guys are going to go to this spot right there. All right, now it's the attack phase. Correction, this guy cannot move 2 spaces. He can't get up there. Look, he only moves 1 space. Totally cheating. So instead of moving that one, let's move the dogs up to there. And then these guys could have moved an additional space. They are going to occupy that one instead. So, okay, just so you know, these guys came from here. They're going to move to there. The dogs are going to move up instead of him moving because that was totally cheating. You can only move 1 space. All right, now for the attack. We will just start with these guys. This is simple. They want to go after the big bird. Big bird! But here's the thing. Because it is a flying unit, they only get to roll a couple of dice. So, some of this stuff ain't going to matter. So they're going to roll just 2 and see if they can't hit that bird down. Bird. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. And they did get a wound and a retreat. So, retreat, bird! And you also get a wound. So let's put a wound on the bird. And he only has 4 life, so that's not good. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's attack with these guys onto the archers. Now, these guys will roll. Shows here 3 dice. So, yeah. So 3 dice. Let's see what happens here. All right, so 1 wound, and then we did get this. So let's see what this is. It says, cause 1 damage, remove 1 figure from this unit after this combat. So cause 1 damage. Oh, but they also lose. Cause 1 damage, remove 1 figure from this unit after this combat. So, okay, it's like they, I guess, got all kinds of crazy. It does kill 2 units, but he was all like, I'm so happy, chop, 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 and he chopped himself in the process. So 3 units are dead. So we'll put them all over there. All right, so you're still poisoned, dude. Now this unit's become weak. We might cover that here in just a minute, if necessary. All right, so now we'll go to this here. We'll attack with these guys first. These are the berserkers. They're the new ones from the expansion. So each time you perform a combat roll, you may re-roll a dice. So, okay, so they roll 2 dice. Not a lot of dice. Let's see what happens. All right, so gained a lore. And also gained a thing here. 1,000 cuts, cause 1 damage to an enemy unit adjacent to this unit. Well, could re-roll. Let's re-roll this one here. And, well, got the exact same thing. So, okay, gained a lore. And also caused 1 damage, which means 1 of the units. He did. So, blah, I'm dead. Okay. So now we'll attack with the dogs. Let's see. Dogs, bloodthirst. If the target unit has suffered 1 or more damage, cause 1 damage. If you roll the crown, you'll get that. Pursue 2. Instead of using advance, this unit may move up to 2 hexes and perform another attack. Just like with them other guys, how they were able to move and do their thing. So, all right, they roll 3 dice in combat. So, and that's it. The last 2 guys are dead. Blah, blah. Okay, so not bad at all. So are you done then? Yeah? Feeling good? Okay. So let's draw your card. All right, let's do your VP. So let's see, you get 1, 2, and you're the only one who occupies those. So 3 VP this round. Holy moly. What does that put you at? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo, you're doing really good. Close game, very close game. So what do you want to do? You want to do a couple of lore. Okay, you want to draw a card and take a lore. So draw a card. Okay, this could be interesting. And take a lore. Okay. And then do you want to... oh, you should get another lore as well because you're the only one occupying those. Now, do you want to spend a lore to move a unit? She says yeah, she wants to. So she's going to spin that. And then she wants to move him to here. So, okay. All right, Blue, what you going to do? You're down on VP. We're going to do a counter attack, which basically is going to mimic that card, which means 1 right, 1 left, and 2 in the middle. So for my 2 in the middle, I'm going to move these guys 1, 2 right to this spot. The one on the right, I'm going to move this rock right up around the backside there. And I'm going to use him, and I want to use them as well. So I'm pretty much done with movement. So now we're going to go into the attack mode. We're going to attack with the rock onto these guys first. Now let's make sure. I don't think that they have anything special. No, they don't on their card. I wanted to make sure that they couldn't avoid any damage. So the rock, he attacks with 4 dice. So let's see what happens. Oh, now that is a bit devastating because that would wipe out the entire squad, I do believe. Now, Carmen didn't like that, so she said she wants to play her lore card. And it cost her 3 lore, and it says parry. Play after a combat roll is performed against a friendly unit. Choose any number of your opponent's rolled dice. The opponent must re-roll the chosen dice. So she wants me to have to re-roll those 3 hits, and that did cost her 3 of her lore. All right, so these 3 here. Oh, it did pay off for sure. So that's 2 lore, but 1 retreat. We're going to explain what's about to happen with that retreat. So 2 lore and 1 retreat. So the retreat means this unit needs to be pushed off of here and move back 1. But because there is units there, that means instead they just get wounded. So they lose 1 of their figures off of there. So now we're going to attack with these guys here and see if we can't try to create the same results. So these guys attack with 3 dice. So let's see what happens. We'll roll these 3 here. And you did poorly. Very, very, very poorly, unfortunately. That is like very, very, very poor. All right. Well, they did gain another lore, which that's not going to help very much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got a lot of lore. Can now activate my super powerful card right here. And that'll happen probably next round. So, all right. So that ended that. I can't believe they didn't get him, man. Wow. So let's see. We're going to use this guy. Now, he could technically shoot them. I was planning on shooting them, but that didn't work out so well. Let's do it. Let's use him. He can't shoot over that. Nope. So he will now shoot at these guys right here. So he rolls, I believe, 4 dice. Yes, he does. So let's roll 4 dice. And only hit with 1. And now the barrage does say cause 1 damage to an enemy unit adjacent to the target unit. So that's good. So that did come into play with this here. And then so 1 hit on this and they're dead as well. Okay, so now we are going to activate these guys here. Now these are my big iron-bound guys, and it says Armor 1, this unit may ignore 1, produce each comment. Nice. And then automation doesn't matter at the moment. So they do attack with 4 dice as well. So let's see if they can't finish them off. And they do. So awesome, man. So these guys are now, sayonara, you're totally history. Okay, so not too bad. At least killed them off. And was able to finish that unit off. That unit was able to survive, which still kind of stinks. So, all right, I think I'm pretty much done. I don't really think there's anything else I can do for the most part. I have 3 cards. I'm going to draw just one and take 1 lore. Draw my command card. And I do gain my victory points, which I'm only going to get 1 victory point. I do gain 1 lore for that, though. Or no, I don't. I only gain 1 victory point. Sorry. Okay. All right. So red is going to do Battle March. Order 3 units that are not weak. Weak means that you're down to 1 unit. And for instance, this unit here and this unit here are both weak. And for them to be able to successfully attack, well, for this guy here, he has to roll the double swords. If he rolls the single sword, it doesn't actually count as a hit anymore. So let's see, 3 units that are not weak. Well, we're going to order this one. We're going to order these guys. And probably the archers is what I'm thinking. 1, 2, 3. Now, them guys could. No, we'll do archers. Okay. So let's start with the Blood Sisters. We'll order them, and they're going to go 1 and then 2 up here. Well, you know what? Yeah. No, they're going to go 1, 2, and they're going to go here now. And they're going to stop that VP train from happening. Let's see. The archers will just stay exactly where they're at. You know what? They're going to move 1 up here, and they're going to fall over because they're drunk. Get up. They're going to move 1 to there. And then these guys will just stay. They'll stay right where they're at. Okay, so we'll attack with these guys first. So they will attack. Now they could, instead of advancing, this unit may perform a ranged attack with an attack value of 3 and a range of 1 to 2. They're going to attack with that. So they're going to roll 3 dice because otherwise they're going to lose a die because they're going to use a melee attack against the flying creature. So they're going to roll 3 dice. Okay. And they are going to stink it up pretty bad. So it does say lacerate. Bleed the target unit. Bleeding units roll 1 fewer die during combat roll. When a player orders a bleeding unit, he may spend 2 lore to remove the bleed target. So he did force him to bleed. So we'll put this onto there to show that he is bleeding, unfortunately. I'm bleeding! Because he did roll that. He did cause a retreat, and he also got that as well. So let's see. A lore. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. And then a 1 retreat, which means they're going to go to there. Now the archers will attack, and they attack with just 2 dice. And they missed on both of those, but they did get the poison on him now, so that's good. And they did cause another retreat, which means now he's going to go back to there. So, and a poison marker. Let's put that on his little tile as well. There we go. So he's bleeding and he's poisoned. All right, so now the sisters will attack those golems. So they roll 3 dice in combat. So, and they did get 1 hit and nothing else. So they did kill one of them. All right, so that would pretty much end their turn with all of that, which was a lot to do about nothing. And let's see what you get on your VP and everything. So VP, you get 1. You get 2. So 2 VP coming your way. Okay. And that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 more, game is over. Draw a command card. And how do you want to do your lore? Let's see. You've got 3 cards here. Take a card, take 1 lore. And then you should have gotten an additional lore because you own those. So let's just take 1 and let's use the other one to advance one of your units somewhere. Let's advance this guy to here. Okay. All right, so kind of a desperation move here because red is running away with the game at the moment. Going to use Runic Assault. And it says order 2 friendly units in addition to the orders provided by your command card. You may play an additional lore card this turn. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to play an additional one, but we'll see. So that cost 8. That just left me with 1, so all these are going to go away. Let's see if I can get my fingers around them. Okay. All right, so that's going to allow me now, because I'm doing attack right, to do 3 on the right and then 2 from anywhere else I might want to. During your order step, you may spend 1 lore to order this unit as if you were in any sector. If you do, this unit may move 1 additional hex during this move. I'm going to do that as well. So we're going to spend 1 lore, and we're going to order that unit as well. So him for sure. 3 from over here, and then 2 from anywhere. So this is going to be a pretty big turn for me. I think what we're going to do is we're going to ride these guys 1, 2, 3 up to here. So that'll be number 1, because they do move 3 spaces. These guys can be ordered. They move 1 space, but it did say that sector, if you do, this unit may move 1 additional hex during your move steps. So I can move 2 with them instead of just the 1. So they're going to move 1, and then we will go 2 right to here. Okay, get back up there. All right. So I've only technically used 1. We are going to order this guy here. Now just 3 from over here. This is kind of a big turn, ain't it? Let's see. I want to get those sisters off of that. That's a big deal in my opinion. Yeah, let's order them. So we're going to order them up to here. In fact, we'll just put them on the tent right there. All right. We're going to order our rock back up, which of course means because he is poisoned, he is going to take a wound for moving. Can't. It's inevitable. And then I will order... Shoot. You know what? Should I have done them? I'm not going to move these guys. Instead, I'm going to order these guys 1, 2 to here. And I'll explain why. Hopefully it'll work. In fact, we'll do... How far can they attack from? From 3? Well, that's... If I order 1, 2, 3... So if they go up here... I think they would... No, extend. Okay, yeah, let's just put them there. Okay. The rock, and then we will order these guys. Man, this really stinks. You know what I'd like to do is just put him there, but then they take a wound. You know, let's put these guys back for a second. Here's what I want to do. Just do it. Okay. We'll just leave it there. Okay. Sorry. All right, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to attack with these guys first. So they attack with 3 dice. So let's see. We'll get our dice over here. And let's see what happens. Exactly what I was kind of hoping to a degree. So they did take 1 wound. They forced a retreat though. So what happens is I pushed them onto this, which that causes an additional wound because it's a barricade and you can't stay on that. Plus we got that, which meant we gained a lore and we get to draw a lore card. So that could be good. Let's see if it's a cheap lore card, that is. Lore, and we get a lore card. Nope, I'm not going to be able to do anything with that. Okay, but that did get them off that. That's going to be a VP then I'm going to be able to gain because they're both clear now. But let's see if we can do better. All right. I should have brought the rock there and then pushed it. And then I could have pushed them to there. You know what? I don't know why I wouldn't have done that. Should have done that. Okay, that makes much more sense. Because now I can push them onto that barb and then possibly even take that spot. I'm taking it, okay? You can't tell me no because I let you play your 1 card out of turn order, okay? So this is my mulligan. You got your mulligan, I get my mulligan. So don't sass me. All right, so the rock is going to attack now. He's going to attack these guys. So that means I roll 4 dice. Wait a minute. I think while I'm poisoned, I roll 1 fewer. How does that work? Dang it. I need to look at that card. Poison the target. Each lore result producing during a combat roll against the poisoned unit may... When a player ordered a poison unit, he may spend 2 lore to remove the poison token from that unit. Okay, so wait a minute. All right, so he doesn't get a wound yet. He only gets a wound if they roll that. That's all it's for. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so anyways. All right, so killed 2 and forced a retreat, so they're all dead. But because he did force a retreat, that means he can actually advance and he can take that spot. So he's going to go right to there. All right, so let's see. Because I could have said he took a wound, then I made him retreat onto there where he died. And then whenever you do that, you're allowed to take the spot where they were. I think I already covered that. Now, we've got that. We'll attack with these guys onto there. So my infantry, they attack with 3. And it does say that trample if the target unit is supported. Nope, they're not supported. If I roll the crown, it says during this turn, if this unit was not adjacent to the target unit at the start of your move step, cause 1 damage. So a crown or any wounds is going to kill this guy. So let's see what happens. He's dead as well, so he's gone. All right. Now let's attack with this guy onto those. No, let's attack the dogs again. So let's attack the dogs. I think I can. No, I don't know if I have range on the dogs. How did they get there? Get away. You're dead. I think I'm going to attack the blood sister over here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, she's within range. And just finish her off. That way she can't move up there and be a jerk. You know, that seems like a waste. Let's attack them, guys. Okay, yeah, let's attack them, guys. So I roll 4 dice. That is 1 wound and a retreat. So 1 wound and a retreat. And of course, because, let's see, if this unit, cause 1 damage, I did not roll any crowns. Okay, so covered everything, I think. All right, so he is dead. All right, last but not least would be these guys over here, and they're going to attack these archers. So these guys attack with 4 dice, and let's see what we can do with them. So, and that is 1 wound. And the crown won't mean anything, so just 1 wound on them. So that's not going to be any good because they're just going to heal that right back. So, all right. Well, it's still a good turn in my opinion. So let's do our upkeep phase, which means victory points. So I get 1, I get 2, I get 3 victory points, and I'm going to gain a lore because both of those are clears. So 3 victory points. Let's gain let's grab a tenner. So I need to put 7 back. 6, 7. There we go. Got 12. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Next, going to draw a card, a command card. And lore. Let's see. I've got 4 cards already. Let's get 2 lore and add them to our supply. Now, I could move a unit if I want to. I don't know if I want to, though. Yeah. So let's spend 1. And we're going to move this guy into there. No. We don't want to move him into there. Let's move him to there. Okay. All right. Going to do patrol right. Order 2 units on the right side. Let's see. Going to... Got kind of slim pickings over there, don't you? Going to move this guy to there. And going to activate the archers as well. So, all right. And let's see. So this guy here, he attacks with 4. So this could be pretty cool. But he cannot move into that spot because he is massive. He can't go into a town spot. So that's not good. Maybe I shouldn't do that after all. Well, not really much of a choice. So, all right. At least get him off that spot, right? Okay. So let's get the dice. So that'll be 4 dice. Okay. And let's see what happens. And that is 2 hits. So 2 damage on there. 2 dead knights. All right. And let's see. Didn't do anything else. So nothing exciting. Okay. So now we'll attack with the archers. And the archers are going to attack these guys right there in front of them. She said she wants to play this card. Let's see what it is. So it's going to cost 5. It says... after you declare the target of an attack, add 3 dice to the combat roll. Each sword result produced during the combat roll may be committed to cause 1 damage. So, all right, I guess that could still be used for archers. So you're going to be rolling a total of 5 dice then. All right, let's see what happens. And that would be then 1 hit, 1 retreat, and then also a poison. So let's put a poison marker on them. Yeah, these guys are tough. This unit may ignore one of those results produced each combat, so yeah, that means they didn't get hurt by that at all. And don't forget, you should have had 5 dice, so let's roll this one again. And so that will be 1 wound. So 1 wound, leave that there. Poison, and then they do have to retreat. So, all right. That was not a very strong attack, to be honest with you. Okay, so you should be over there. Okay. That pretty much ends your turn, and it probably is going to end the game for you too, to be honest, because you didn't do really much of anything. So let's see. You get 1 VP for that, so let's grab that. And that will put you at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 VP. Going to take a card and a lore. Okay. And then a command card. Now, do you want to move anybody? Nope. Okie dokie. All right, going to play a couple of things. First, we're going to play Healing Hands. We'll do that here in just a second. Here it says I'm going to order 1 unit from each middle, left, and right. Okay. So we'll move to the move phase. I am going to play Healing Hands, and this says choose up to 2 friendly units within 2 hexes of a friendly caster unit. Each chosen unit may either recover 1 health or become shielded. Now, shielded is basically, now it did cost me all my lore. Shielded is basically a way of preventing a damage on one of your characters. Now, I'm going to put it on this unit right here. Now I'm going to order that unit, and they are going to go 1, 2. Now, this typically would have damaged them, but they moved right through it. So it's only if you end your movement on there does it damage you. So they're safe. But they are going to occupy their command tent. So they're going to be a huge target this next turn, because that's pretty well a game winner right there. So let's see. I'm also going to move 1 here in the center. I only really got him now. So, and then 1 over here. We'll activate these guys here is what I'm thinking, even though they are poisoned. Okay, so let's see what happens. We will first activate the big guy right here. So we will shoot with him, and we are going to shoot at the dogs right there. So they will roll 4 dice. And 2 hits. That's all needed. So boom, both the dogs are dead. Fantastic. This game's pretty much won, I think. Gained a lore as well in the process. So, all right. Next, going to attack with these guys onto the archers. So they roll 2 or 3 dice. And that's 2 hits. What's that? Oh, you got a card to play. All right, let's check that out. All right, well, this was supposed to technically be played before the attack, or once the attack was announced, before the die roll. But regardless, yeah, it'll cost you 6 lore. And basically, for every sword and double sword, it's going to wound me instead. So I would lose my shield and one of my characters versus losing them 2 archers. But regardless, I did roll the double sword, and that does say cause 1 retreat. So these guys still have to retreat off of there. So retreat over to there. Okay. All right. So that was them there. Okay, these guys here. So they will attack. They roll 4 dice. And that would be 2 more damage. Anything for a crown? No, nothing for a crown, but 2 more damage on the big guy. I've pretty much end my turn. So now what I do is I'm going to do the victory point dance. So that'd be 1, 2. These are clear. So that's 3 points. 1 more point and I win the game. So let's see. Let's take a 5er and we'll put the 2 back. Okay. Draw a card. I will take the 2 lore. Put that there. All right, so she's going to do Darken the Skies. Order 3 archer units. During your attack step, each ordered archer unit that did not move during your move step may perform 1 additional attack. All right, sounds good, sounds good. You've got 1, 2, and I guess that would be your 3. Would that even count? I mean, it's not technically an archer unit. She's a ranged, but not an archer, so I don't think so. So I think it'd just be these guys, and these guys can attack, and if they don't move, they can attack twice. She's got to defeat this one, get these guys off of there, and also get that guy off of there. Not going to be really easy, to be honest. So she wants to play this as well. So this is Distractions, going to pay all 4 of her lore. All right, and this says that play after you declare an attack at a target against an enemy unit that is adjacent to 2 or more friendly units. Well, you can't do that. You're not adjacent to 2 or more friendly units. So forget that. You get your lore back. All right, so attack from here to there. So that will be, and should have healed because on the blood flats. So we'll put that guy there just to represent an archer. So roll 3 dice. Where in the world are the dice? Where did I put those dice? Ah, there they are. So you only roll 2 dice. I don't know what you're really thinking you're going to accomplish. You ain't going to make this happen, to be honest. And you missed. So yes, you do get to attack again. And you hit once. But, of course, because of their armor, you actually didn't do anything. So congratulations. And also, if you could have at least rolled the thingy like that, you could have done damage because they're poisoned. But I don't believe you did. So, all right. We'll go over to these guys. So they will attack the rock. And that would be, oh, I'm sorry, nope, it's lore. Lore would cause the poison. So 1 lore, so that is 1 damage on him. Attack again. And did cause a retreat and another damage. Well, that's pretty much going to be game because you are going to collect 1 VP at the end of this round. And yes, you did push him off, which means you could have taken that spot. And then that would be an additional VP. So that's, we'll give you all the VP you should get. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 VP that you'd end the game with. Because 1 VP because those are clear. Another VP because own that spot. Now, at the start of Blue's turn, though, he has taken control of this command tent, which that is an automatic 2 VP. So that would be enough at the start of the turn, 10, 15, 16, 17 VP to win the game. That would be 17 points to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wow, that was a good game. Very close. Good game.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, if there were any mistakes, please list below the time that the mistake happened and what exactly the mistake was, and I'll be sure to add an annotation into the video. You're not going to talk to me anymore, huh? You know, I don't understand. I mean, you're such a sore loser. And I know that you had, I mean, okay, look, I thought you were going to get it too. I mean, you had a great opportunity there for a while. It seemed like you had the advantage, but that last turn, playing the lore cards at the right time makes a huge difference in this game. And having enough, lore, to be able to pay for those. I mean, an 8 value card is not easy to pay for. I mean, that means that you're foregoing a lot of abilities on some of your other lore cards to be able to pay for that card. And then I like the command tent taking over that. You don't have to do that. It's an extra little feature, and that's what I like about this game. I mean, you have so much customizing available in this game between the armies, between the scenarios, with the landscape, and then plus even like with the command tents, you don't even have to play with those. You don't have to play with barricades. You don't have to play with the crystals or the blood fields. I mean, there's so much stuff that you can change around in this game to make it totally different from one experience to the next. There's even water tiles that go onto the board, and that creates a tougher landscape for you to maneuver around on. I mean, there's so much in this game that I absolutely love. It's a fantastic combat system. I think that if you really spent the time and used your imagination, you could create all kinds of great synergies with your armies when you build them, and now especially with these expansions that you have extra figures to be able to build with, that I could see that, creating armies that are VP-based armies that sit on locations and just gobble up the VP points, and armies that are aggressive that, go after your opponent. You win based upon getting 16 VP, or you win based upon being the last man standing. I don't believe I've ever played a game where last man standing has won. It's come close, but I don't think we've ever finished one where one person just dominated and won flat out. It's typically always come down to whoever had the most VP at the end of the game. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I mean, I know I really enjoy this game a lot. I want to thank Fantasy Flight for sending this. I really do appreciate it. There's more stuff coming out. I saw like a dragon and a mountain troll or a mountain giant and stuff like that. I mean, that's just... And I guess they're like MP figures. They just are on the board and they create all kinds of different types of havoc. They're unaligned, basically, is what I'm saying. Plus, there are other factions that are coming out. It won't just be the blue versus red. It'll be, I'm guessing, you know, blue versus red versus green. I don't know. But anyways, I love the game. And if you liked what you saw, check the game out. I mean, I think it's an absolutely brilliant battle system. Very simple. But at the same time, you can make mistakes. And like I said, if you did find any mistakes, make sure you make a note of that for me. And I'll put an annotation in. Regardless, thanks for watching, guys. And check out our other videos. Bye-bye.